Deep inside the forest, a young boy named Ryoma Takebayashi is living out there. Though he is not alone, he is living with over 1,000 magical slime familiars, including sticky slime, acid slimes, cleaner slime, and scavenger slime. When Ryoma goes out into the jungle, he witnesses a group of people, and one of them is deeply injured. As they notice Ryoma's presence, one member immediately pointed his sword at him. Since Ryoma had been living alone, he can't talk to them properly, but he convinces them and gives them some medicine. He then invites them to his house for rest, which is hidden inside the cave. They are impressed with his house, but seeing that Ryoma obviously lives alone, they become suspicious of him. They ask Ryoma who is he, and the group leader introduces him as Reinhardt Jamil, a noble and a duke, along with his soldiers, Camel a mage, a bodyguard Hughes, Zephyr Scout, and Jill. When they ask him why he living alone and how can use magic, Ryoma claims he learned magic from his deceased grandparents, but 3 years ago they died. Mage Camel brought a magical device that can detect one's power in criminal records. He asks Ryoma to place his hand on it, and determines that Ryoma has a high resistance to mental and physical pain. After that, Hughes recovered and they leaves. After they leave, Ryoma feels guilty about lying. In truth, 3 years prior, Ryoma was an unhappy Japanese salaryman who unexpectedly died in his sleep in the afterlife. Ryoma met 3 gods, Gang, Leloucha, and Kufo, who explained during his sleep. He sneezed 4 times, and hit his head on the ground, which caused him brain hemorrhage. They offer to reincarnate Ryoma in their world, which will form a bridge to Ryoma's Earth, which has an abundance of magic. They give Ryoma a new body and magical abilities, and allow him to keep his brute strength and resistance to mental and physical pain. Thus Ryoma arrived on alternate Earth as an 8-year-old boy. God even prepared a manual for him, and the story about his grandparents also made up by the gods. While testing his new body, Ryoma met his first slime, and uses taming magic to form a contract with it. Then spent 3 years learning about them until meeting Reinhardt. 2 weeks passed since Reinhardt went back to the town, and Ryoma was back to his usual life. But Ryoma is surprised when Reinhardt returns with even more people, including his family. Reinhardt introduces Ryoma to his father and previous Duke Reinbach, his wife Elise, and daughter Hirowareta, who is the same age as him. The Jamil family is amazed by his monster taming abilities, that he has thousands of slimes under his command, and how well he can control them. Reinhardt then gives him a gold clock for previously helping him, and reveals the reason for their visit. Hirowareta reveals the Jamil family have been tamers for generations, and requests Ryoma to help her tame a slime, as her very first familiar. After seeing his scavenger and cleaner slime's abilities, Hirowareta decides to tame a cleaner slime, that can cleanse away impurities, filth, and grime, but Ryoma hesitates to tell her how to tame it. Ryoma explains it to Reinhardt and the other males. However, Hughes tells Hirowareta that she needs bath water tainted with her sweat as bait, and earns slaps from all the females on this face. Hirowareta still wants to tame the cleaner slime, and due to the only way to attract the slime, she washes herself and collects the bath water, and by the end of the day, she returns with her first cleaner slime. The Jamil family then invites Ryoma to accompany them on their trip to another town, and Ryoma accepts as he is eager to explore his new world. Ryoma reveals he can also use storage magic, and so he stores all the important items that he collected and made in 3 years. And finally, Ryoma left the forest with the Jamil family to explore the new world. On the journey, a rockslide blocks the path. Ryoma decides to help and bring out his raincoat from his collection, impressing Reinbach, who suspects Ryoma might have a bright future as a craftsman or even a merchant. Ryoma then solves the landslide problem using several spells he created himself, impressing Reinhardt's mages, before continuing on to next the town. After 3 days of traveling, they arrived in Gimmel, also known as a mining town. Ryoma was taken to Gimmel's church by the Jamil family to obtain his status board, which also function as a form of ID. At the church, Ryoma met the 3 gods again, who praised him for creating different items like a toilet and house, and also discovered that slimes were created by gain, and he unintentionally influenced the evolution of the cleaner and scavenger slimes. Lelouch revealed that two Jamil ancestors were from Ryoma's Earth, an animal lover who created Taming Magic School, and become noble after achieving great things. Since then they are giving their blessing individually to the Jamil family, and the other one from Hirowareta's mother's side was a Otaku, who became a powerful warrior magician with a huge magic capacity. They reveal that the god of war noticed him and gained the god of artisans' blessing. After that, Reinbach advised him that he should register at a guild, so unscrupulous people are less likely to take advantage of him. When Hirowareta asks him about his magic capacity, she is amazed at how well he can control his vast magic without any side effects, revealing she actually has more magic than him, but with less control. Then they headed to the Tamer Guild to register as a tamer. However, Ryoma learns that raising his rank will be difficult at the Tamers Guild due to how unimpressive slimes are. Instead, he decides to join the Adventurers Guild, where Guild Master Worgen takes his exam, and after witnessing Ryoma's warrior abilities, he accepts him immediately. Worgen gives Ryoma his guild card and assigns the lowest rank to G. Ryoma then visits the guild and takes his first G rank job. The next day, he gathers his slimes and arrives at the location for his first job. The job is to clean the home of Mia, a cat beastkin, who had given up on the job. She is pleased to see that Ryoma accepts it. Basically, her house is next to the trash dump, and one day the wall between broke and trash filled her house. Ryoma starts the work. First he cleans the trash dump with the help of his slime, and then Mia's house. He not only cleans the house, but even fixes the broken wall. Much to Mia's joy, she starts crying, and she increases his reward out of gratitude. After that, Ryoma reports to the guild and collects his first reward before the guild master calls him. Impressed by his job and amid suspicions of embezzlement perpetrated by the local authorities, Ryoma was tasked to clean the communal toilets, which used to be done by slums peoples. Ryoma then explains this to Jamil family, and Reinhardt immediately asks his butler Sabasu to investigate the matter. The next day, Ryoma arrives at the communal toilets. Before he goes inside, he wears all the protective gears. With the help of his slimes smoothly does his work until after cleaning some rooms, he notices that his slimes evolves and gains skills. He realizes the toilets are contaminated with miasma, and rushes to the guild, where he meets Reinhardt and others. Upon knowing of this, the Jamil family wants Ryoma to stop the task, but he convinces them he is the most suited for it. The next day, Ryoma enters the toilets again, and the guild then sends Mio along with some other adventurers, to keep the population away from the toilets, until Ryoma completes the cleaning. After 3 days of continuous work, he finally comes out from the toilet. After the job is done, while walking back to home, Ryoma reminisces about his mother, who used to stay awake to welcome him home after work until her death. He opens the door and cries tears of joy when the Jamil family welcomes him home in a similar fashion. Later, Hirowareta wakes up early and cooks breakfast for Ryoma. At breakfast, following Ryoma's advice, playing with magic is a good way to learn. Hirowareta asks him to teach her how to play. He also wants to learn attack magic, so Camel decides to teach him. Ryoma then teaches Hirowareta how to play with magic. He shows her how can magic be used to have fun. First he creates some bubbles, and then use water magic to fill, and creates a floating fish in the sky. While Hirowareta practices, Camel teaches Ryoma different types of attack magic like a fire arrow, stone bullet, water shot, and more. Ryoma learned everything, and Camel has nothing to teach him. Sabasu, the Jamil's butler, also decides to teach Ryoma advanced teleportation, a wrap that allows the user to instantly transfer to the location, and storage magic, a dimension hole that allows the user to store living things as well, and by the end of the day, Ryoma learned everything. The next day, Ryoma accompanies Jamil family to the abandoned mines, so that Hirowareta can learn to use magic in a real situation. After entering the mine they soon encounter caveman Taizes. Hirowareta uses her ice magic to kill them. When Ryoma's turn comes he uses his new warrior skills to fight them off. After that, they continue their search through the mine, and Hirowareta discovers a rare metal slime, and uses her magic to catch it. She gives it to Ryoma as a gift for helping her in the magic practice. After coming out of the mine, Ryoma realizes the mine can be reopened by using magic to extract the tiny traces of iron left in the soil. He uses his alchemy to create an iron ore, delighting Duke Jamil. Reinbach introduces Ryoma to Serge Morgan, a trader, who is delighted to buy and sell Ryoma's creations, though he insists on remaining anonymous. Later, Reinhardt catches the culprits behind the toilet incident, and the guild assigned Ryoma and other adventurers to clear the mines. The next day, Ryoma left with other adventurers to clear the monsters from the mines. The Adventurer Guild has begun its mission to clear the mines of monsters. Our heroes are determined to complete the task at hand. The adventurers proceed into the mines and encounter various monsters along the way, dispatching them with ease. However, their mission takes a turn when the guild finds a large nest of goblins deep inside the mine. The Adventurers Guild quickly formulate a plan to attack the goblins' nest. The adventurers then launch a coordinated attack against the goblins, but soon had a hard time dealing with them, because their numbers are too larger than expected. Ryoma, with the help of his slime, attacks the goblins, and even the goblin commander shows up but is easily defeated by him, so the mission has been completed without casualties. Ryoma uses his cleaner slimes to clean the adventurer's clothes, and Mia suggests he should open a laundry shop. Afterward, his healer slimes evolves, and all the injured adventurers thank him for saving their life. After completing the mission, Ryoma returns home and explains everything to Reinhardt and others. He also expresses his desire to live independently from the Jamil family, much to their surprise. Having predicted Ryoma's intention to follow his own path, Reinhardt and his family agree with his request, but they make him promise to keep in touch and visit them regularly. Ryoma tells that he wants to open a laundry shop in the town, so Reinhardt asks him to look after abandoned mines. The next day, Ryoma and Illyria visit Morgan to seek advice, who suggests he should register with Merchant Guild to help with his plans to start a laundry shop. They then visit Merchant Guild, and Guild Master Glicella allows Ryoma to register after listening to his idea. She also gives him information about a vacant land for open his shop. The plot was in the perfect spot, and Ryoma decides to buy it. After securing a plot of land with the help of his slime, he immediately starts working on the building. Ryoma spent the next day building the facility with help from Jamil family's soldiers and his adventurer friends, who come to help him. They work hard and finish building the main building. Ryoma feels proud of their accomplishment, and named his shop Bamboo Forest Laundry Service. Later, Ryoma pays a visit to the church to meet the gods. However, only Kufo is there to welcome him, while Leloucha and Gain are having some recreation on Earth. Kufo warns Ryoma that his maturity will regress back to a child's to synchronize with his new body, but everything will stay the same. Before officially opening the shop, Ryoma invites all his friends and people he knows for the party. The next day, Morgan brings two people to Ryoma's shop. They are twin brother and sister, who were sent by the Merchant Guild to work under him in his laundry shop. They introduce themselves as Callum and Carla Norrid. Ryoma gives them instructions on their new job and also gives them a tour of his shop and welcomes them to his team. Just then everyone arrives, and Ryoma has both Callum and Carla help him with an opening party he gives to all his friends. The party is a success, and everyone enjoys themselves while also admiring the laundry shop. The next day, Ryoma's shop is open, but he decides to do some work at the Adventurer Guild, also informs them about the shop, as he believes few customers will show up for the shop's opening, but Mia and other already informed them. However, after completing the job, he is shocked when he returns to the shop and sees that it is crowded with customers. Ryoma feels relieved and pleased with the success of his business. He decides to hire more assistants to help him with the workload. Ryoma returns home satisfied after a successful day of work. The next day, the Merchant Guild Master gathers some worker and introduces them to Ryoma. Ryoma interviews the candidates to work in his shop, but all of them refuse to work under a child, or deal with slimes, and leave the room, except for two peoples. They don't have any problem working under him or with his slimes. There are a father and daughter, Faye and Liling. Ryoma sees Faye has a broken leg, but tells don't have to worry. He also notices they are carrying concealed weapons, and both confirm they are former assassins. Guildmaster explains the truth. Despite this, Ryoma decides to hire both not only to attend to the customers, but to also work as security guards. He then introduces them to Callum and Carla at the shop. After a successful day of work, Ryoma asks Callum to calculate the sales, while he uses his healing slimes to cure Faye's broken leg, much to his joy. With the help of Faye and Li Ling, they successfully completed their third day of business. As business continues to increase, Ryoma decides to hire more people. He heads to the merchant guild and asks the guildmaster for 3 more people and 1 cook in particular. The next day, the guildmaster introduces him to 4 more female workers, including a cook, and he immediately hires them. Guildmaster suggests that he should open other branches too. Later, the Jamil family rejoices to see Ryoma is doing fine without their support. Morgan calls Ryoma and gives him a huge order of waterproof cloth, along with other stuff for the seasonal quail frog hunt, and Ryoma agrees to produce them. To produce the order, Ryoma decides to use the mines, and Ilyaria also tags along to practice her violin. While she practices, Ryoma and his slimes work to produce waterproof clothes. Later on, when clothes are drying off, Ilyaria asks Ryoma to create a small statue of herself. Ryoma uses his magic and creates a statue of her. Satisfied with the result, he ends up making up statues of all members of the Jamil estate. They decide to have her take them as a memento for when she leaves for studying, including one of Ryoma. The next day, Ryoma goes to the mines to produce the order, but during that time, one of his slimes evolves into an iron slime after consuming some iron. Later at the shop, Ryoma realizes that sales and profits are increasing as Bamboo Forest's reputation grows. He also realizes that he forgot to give holiday breaks to his employees, which he quickly corrects to avoid exploitation. He then learns that in this world it's a rarity, and females worker also faces harassment. Ryoma visits the Adventurers Guild, and learns that a group of adventurers called Pure of Sikkim captured a new kind of slime, so he decides to buy it. He finds a group of adventurers, but somehow they seem upset, and even one of them attacks him, revealing that the captured rare slime, but could not sell it. Ryoma then buys that slime from them at an extra price. After making a contract and appraising it, he learns that it is a bloody slime. The 3 gods watch Ryoma's progress and rejoice in their decision to pick him. Later, at Ilyaria's invitation, Ryoma joins the Jamil family for the training session with Ilyaria. They are excited to learn new abilities from them. The Jamil family teaches them advanced taming techniques called share sense, which Ryoma and Ilyaria quickly master. Afterward, Ryoma completes a waterproof cloth order, and the day of limmerbirds' annual migration finally arrives. Ryoma joins Ilyaria and the others to watch the limmerbirds' annual migration. At the location and witness a tamer attempting to tame a limmerbird using his music. However, the limmerbirds are not impressed, so the tamer tries to attack them, but the birds attacked him instead. Ryoma and the others rush and rescue the tamer, but the situation quickly escalates. When one of the limmerbirds unleashes powerful magic on everyone, Ryoma manages to locate the bird and successfully drives the birds away. Reinbach reveals that the bird was a rare species called a nightmare. Ryoma also reveals that he was unaffected, thanks to his resistance to mental pain. Ilyaria becomes a little disappointed that she was not able to tame a limmerbird as she intended, but she and the others decide to wait until Bird's returns. The birds return and Nightmare is also among with them. Ilyaria comes forward and starts playing her violin. With her musical abilities, she manages to impress the birds and others too. A bunch of birds gathers in front of her, and she successfully forms a taming contract with them. Seeing her, Ryoma also decides to tame the bird, so he brings out his guitar from his storage. Ryoma then plays the music he used to play in his previous world, impressing everyone. Ryoma even manages to tame the nightmare limmerbird, along with other normal birds. Everyone praises them for contracting so many birds at once, while Ilyaria discovers that she also tames a phantom limmerbird, another advanced species even rarer than Nightmare. also can use light magic. That night, the Jamil estate celebrates Ryoma and Illyaria's success, as well as their last night together before they part ways. They all have a wonderful time, sharing stories and laughter. The next day, the time has finally come when Ryoma parts away with Jamil family. He thanks Hughes and others, and so Illyria and her family bid farewell to Ryoma, who promises to keep in touch with them, and to visit Illyria in 3 years during her break from her studies. In the end, the gods, watching over Ryoma, renew their conviction they made the right choice of reincarnating him, and he sets off to the mines to build a new home. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this. If you have any suggestions or questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Until next time, take care.